This is the Rain Sports Network. Rain Sports Update. The Strange Sports Network 2020 Sports Update brought to you by Consumer Cellular. Consumer Cellular, where you can get in the best rates and better than the other competitors. Go to www.consumercellular.com. In men's basketball action tonight, number 9 North Carolina leads Miami with 2:19 left on ESPN, 72-65. In the NCAA coaches men's and women's bowl, Houston takes over the number one spot for the men, and South Carolina holds the number one spot for the women. And the date is coming up for everybody to put the franchise tags on. T. Higgins was put a franchise tag on with the Bengals, but there are no franchise tags for Raiders Jacobs or even Saquon Barkley for the Giants. That's your 2020 sports update. I'm Michael Lewis. This is the rain. This is the home of champions, the Rain Sports Network. Growing. This is the Rain Sports Network, the home of champions. This is the Rain. You're watching and listening to Mental Buckets on the Rain Sports Network with the sports fan, Michael Lewis and Rihanna Reed Henderson. Get in and talk now at 1-800-337-7171 or 1713-444 TAOK. Now, here is the sports fan. Agreed. Thank you very much for joining us on Mental Buckets right here on the Rain. I'm yours truly, the sports vet, Michael Lewis, with you. Rihanna Reed Henderson will start joining us I guess she's going to start joining us um, in March. We want to say in March. Thank you very much for joining us on the special edition of Mental Buckets. Usually we have it on Sunday, but due to the fact is next week we won't have we won't have an actual show on next week as well. Again, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for joining the show this evening as well. It's also Mental Buckets that you can actually also watch it, listen to it on Spotify as well, and on the uh, and on the RSN RTV television network as well. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being here uh, on Mental Buckets. And you can also listen to us on Spotify as well on KRBH 97.1. Well, there's a reason why the special show is tonight because of the fact is next week we will not have any live sports programming. You will see this show next week on on the Rain Sports Network. Next week, this one will be showing at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern next week, right after the Sports Zone, which will come on at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. There's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. And our mental focus tonight basically would be the new kids on the block. And as you probably know, fans have basically been they've been target practice. They've been target practicing people, whether it be actual soccer matches, whether it be youth baseball games, and even storming the court, injuring people on the court, which he should have gotten off the court, ran off the court, or even injuring one of the best players in collegiate basketball. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. This, though, was the reason why we actually had the show on tonight. Because of the fact is that Cam Newton, as you probably know, Cam Newton is probably one of the most prolific and probably one of the most prestigious quarterbacks of this century, of this generation. Cam Newton has always helped out his community. He has always still been close to the Charlotte community. And for some reason or other, Cam Newton was actually attacked by parents and by actual parents and also by some participants yesterday at a 7-on-7, I guess you want to call it a competition. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. This was probably the most, I would say this was probably one of the most craziest things ever. I can only say this much here. It was probably the most craziest thing, and I don't know. To me, I really think that parents have already, especially in the African American community, they've already wrecked their children, and with this mental going back and forth between each other. But the situation is that violence is promoted, and it's just because of the fact is parents are not responsible for their own actions when they come out to the field. They have their actions bequeath a lot of this crap that we see on the field. It doesn't make any sense. It's nonsense. Are you embarrassing your kids when you're going after an NFL great? One of the greatest quarterbacks in this century. I'm not saying all time, but in this century. Cam Newton has given back so much, even in his foundation and all the other stuff. I'm going to be really upfront and honest with you. I think it's just totally bombastically stupid. To me, I think the really big thing is that if you're a parent, you're going out, I know definitely a lot of parents, some that I even grew up with. If you're going out to watch your son or daughter play at certain games, it's soccer, whatever the case may be, it shouldn't come down to the point where they should be looking like this. This should be looking like this. It shouldn't come down to a point where it should be looking like this. I remember there were 2 incidences at 2 basketball AU games. One was in up north Texas, up near the Dallas area, where fans were being shot at. Take for instance a high school combine here in our area, in the Houston metropolitan area. 2 referees were beaten up because of bad calls that could have costed one guy his son a chance to go play overseas basketball. I mean, a college basketball at a D1 school. To me, I think it doesn't really resonate into anything else more than just stupidity. Just total stupidity. I mean, when you are parents, you're not supposed to be doing this in front of a kid. The problem is, the fact is that, especially with African American couples, it's so problematic now because of the fact there's a new wave of thinking on one gender side. Another way of thinking on the other gender side is so verbose, and it's just totally mundane. How it's being done, how it's being created, how it's being put together. It's so mundane. It's so crazy. You have fan violence, which has gone up now, and now attacking A 6'5", 250-pound NFL retired veteran who went to the Super Bowl, who threw for almost 25, 30,000 yards, even better, went to the Super Bowl, was NFL MVP, and you attack him? Your parents attack him. This is just a total eyesore reason why I don't celebrate Black history. I don't. Because of the fact is we get out there and we go into the public eye. The public eye. It could be any NFL, WNBA, NBA, even an MLB star, former or even current, that could go and do something good for our community, our kids in our community. And who messes it up? The African American contingency. We don't understand youth sports. We don't understand sports in general. We break our TVs. We go out and bust people in the head in the stands because they're cheering for the other team. What did they do to you? If the team lost, they lost a good game, they gave it their effort, let them go and go back to the dressing room. But if it's your kid, your daughter, your son, out there on the volleyball court, on the basketball court, on the football field, on track and field, cheer them on and be their encouragement, even if they've given it their all and fell short. What I saw yesterday was just nonsense. Nonsense. We've had referees tackled in Atlanta. 2 were shot at. 1 was killed in Charlotte, North Carolina, because of stupidity. And not to mention the crowd focus of fan storming. Yes, we've seen it in everything from NFL to NBA to even MLB. We've seen that. We've seen that fan storming. We've seen fans come. It's been a tradition. But how can you do this? How can you do this to Cam Newton? How can you do this to an NFL star? How can you do this to him? Was he saying something about Brock Purdy that pissed you off? Or did he say something wrong about an NFL player that was your favorite? Clue me in on this. It's stupidity like this that irks me to the core. And you have to look at it from a standpoint. We live in a society that's faithless. That was once faithless, now it's gone faithful, but now it's gone faithless. We don't believe in the faith anymore. We don't believe that God exists, the Father exists. We don't pray in our families. We don't give good morals. And I'm not talking to all the parents that do. The ones that do, congratulations. You're setting the bar. But for the ones who are still learning, what in the world? The ambience is wrong, or the referee is horrible, or this and that. I'm going to be honest with you. There needs to be NCAA or the National High School Foundation or Association or whatever it is. They have to have people that need to come in, do seminars when there's a Final Four, when there's a state tournament championship, when there is a Super Bowl. They need to just have fans just sit there and listen to the Harry Williamses, listen to the other people who are psychologists. But first and foremost, they need to listen to former players. They need to listen to people who played the game. We've had athlete violence. We've had athlete violence against women. We've had all the other particulars. Social media has dawned on a lot of this. Social media has gone so far crazy to the point of this fight that started in Colorado last year was started from social media. And it was over a kid. It was over an umpire. And a kid and two families that didn't get along with one another. That I don't understand. I don't understand. And the thing is that you have to take a look at what is what is right and what's wrong. The sports chaos of this is the fact is that we are in an election year. And we know that there are people that won't like one party and won't like another party and won't like this party and won't like that party. We understand that. The thing is that I think we have not understood as a nation. We have not understood as a world. We have not understood as a culture. What in the world? To see this happen, and I feel sorry for the kids behind Gen Z because they're coming into a world of uncertainty. They're coming to a world of stupidity. They're coming into a world of one gender is needing the entitlement process before you marry to the other one, or other person needs the look. We need to stand on ground or stand on business, or however, whatever they say. How about teaching your kids on what are their goals? Maybe the possibility may loom is the fact is that they may not have those goals of being a pro sports whatever. Maybe their goal is to go be a doctor or lawyer or even a president. But what happens is the fact is Barack Obama did the same thing. The same thing. Played sports in high school in Chicago. Look what happened to him. When we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about this on this half hour of Mental Buckets right here on the Rain Sports Network. Stay close. And watching Mental Buckets, the Rain Sports Network. This is the Rain Sports Network. Now, this is lovely. And away we go. This is the Rain. Look, the Rain. 1-800-337-7171, 1-415-333-2624. You're listening to the Mental Buckets special edition on the Rain Sports Network. I'm yours truly, the sports vet Michael Lewis, with you. Thank you again for joining me on this special edition of the Rain. Our bucket topic this evening is the sports chaos, and you know, I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. This is probably so many reasons why a lot of us in the African American community don't understand why we don't get funding for youth sports. You probably know, because I was talking about at the beginning of the show, there was an issue on the past couple of days back when Cam Newton went to go speak, make an appearance at a 7-on-7 football challenge camp. Newton has always been a person that will go and help out the youth, and even though people have been critical on him with some other things that he has said in in regards to Brock Purdy or other quarterbacks or system quarterbacks or whatever, I disagreed with it. But Cam Newton has either shown plays to these young people, and he's even actually have done so much greatness in the Charlotte community, from wherever he was yesterday. He's even participated. He gave him play charts to run. He was attacked by parents who were African American and athletes who were African American, protecting the parents. One guy was thrown out of the actual venue because he had a gun and he was going to shoot Newton. Oh, what was he? African American. When do we learn that the world is watching us to fail? When do we learn? We don't learn it. We don't learn it. The biggest thing that I've seen is the fact is that our communities are suffering. We don't vote. If there's an early vote, oh, what the heck? We don't have that parameter to go do it. Do the voting. Nah. We have to see, we have some way, somehow. We got to be able to come together as a community. Whether it be African American, non-African American, somewhere along the way we have to come together. That's just the only way this is going to work. At some point in time, we have to stop being the kids in the room. Our kids need us. Our kids need us. I mean, our kids, when they are coming up and they see mom and dad argue over the, as we call, the pettiness every single night, what is it? What have we gained from it? Nothing. Or as Sergeant Schultz would say from Hogan's Heroes fame, nothing. We gain nothing. There's a right way and a wrong way for fans to be a lot more controlled. And even parents, a parent running over Caitlin Clark after Ohio State defeated Iowa. Now Clark's going to be going after Ohio State this coming weekend at home. On the court, not in the stands. I generally don't really talk about sports violence because we need a peaceful peaceful approach to it. And the basic thing is that we have to have a peaceful approach. And it doesn't really matter at all. I think you really look at it and you say to yourself, what in the world? What happened to Cam Newton the other day or over the weekend could happen to any NFL, WNBA, and MLB star, MLS star, any major. It could happen to Tiger Woods. It could happen to his kid. Because we have ignorance in parenting. We have ignorance in parents understanding sports for youth. This is not the kids are your unless your actual um, son or daughter is going to go to major D1 and their talents are good where they can get NIL funding before they're 18, or they go to the G League Ignite. I don't see the reasoning why you can't set a goal if they don't make professional sports. Tell them, okay, you know what? Sports will teach us out of life. This is what taught me. I played baseball when I was a kid. I wanted to win so bad. I played at a high school, which I could have played back out west on the West Coast. But the basic thing was is that I went to school. My late father went to school, an African American school, which basically was known for football back then. But I made my mark, played baseball on even a sub 500 team for 4 straight years. But what did it teach me? It taught me basically how to structure and play team, and it made me a better coach when I first started coaching at 22, a softball team. The basic thing we always have to look at, and this is not from a guy just talking from the dungeon of his home, but you always have to look at it from every single angle. Sports for youth are supposed to be enjoyed by parents, and it's supposed to be a block for them to be able to enjoy the game that they love playing, whether it be softball, baseball, basketball, volleyball, flag football, weightlifting, track and field. But it can't come down to this. It can't come down to fighting. It can't come down to this at all. I don't, you know, I think the really big thing is that there has to be at some point some sort of seminar. There has to be some sort of education. I wish Rihanna was here to help me out on this one. She's great at sports, educating parents on the mental side of sports for coaches, parents, athletes. She's excellent at it. I can only tell you this from the coaching side. And this Bucket Sound Off is brought to you by Consumer Cellular. Consumer Cellular, where you can get the best deals, even from the major carriers. www.consumercellular.com. Consumer Cellular. My Bucket Sound Off. When you come up and talk about how do we have something for our kids in the summer, you're a parent, you sign up for maybe a youth organization during the fall, for spring, for even times when your kids are not doing anything on the weekend, just to get them active. The problem is, though, when they're finished high school, or they're finished with the high school seasons, whether it be whatever sport it is, we have issues with parents going to get in front of the coach, get in front of the AAU person, or get in front of the director, get in front of the referee. What does that mean? Nothing. You have, as parents, have failed your children, regardless of how I feel about it. But you have parents, as parents, failed your children. And I'm not going to say anything else more than the fact is, it's it's ludicrous. These kids are out to play. They're out here to play the best they can be, or be the best they can be at the the best they can be at what they do. And I think the really big thing is that are we are we as a people messing it up, or are we maybe we as the adults we have not grown up. Wait, maybe we have not gone to the point of I want to say I want to find the words for it. Maybe we haven't grown up. Maybe the kids are more grown up than we are. But the kids need us. The kids need us to put a foundation together. My parents, even though there were challenging times for us, the kids need to have that balance. They need to have the balance. I kid you not. They need to have that balance. Oof. If Johnny, if you do great, fine. Do your best. Jane, if you do your best, that's fine too. No problem. We still love you. You're giving it your all. But they're learning life lessons when they're playing. They are. I think it starts with the parents at home. The best of the street mental with my good friend and colleague, Rihanna Henderson, will come up next at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on the Rain. That's going to do it for this version for me for the uh, for mental buckets as well. Thank you very much for joining me. Next time we will meet again. We'll be on the as March Madness begins. Until next time, be safe, stay well, and take care of one another and be kind. We'll talk to you soon. You've been listening and watching Mental Buckets on the Rain Sports Network. This is the Rain Sports Network. Don't forget to join us next week as the Texas Purple Rain finish the ABA season on the Rain Sports Network as they welcome the Lone Star Crusaders to town. Countdown to tip-off starts at 1:30. Game at 3 p.m. on the Rain Sports Network. Join the Texas Purple Rain on their final homestand in their own game versus the Lone Star Crusaders. Game time at 1:30 p.m. and countdown to tip-off at 1:30. This is the rain.